Hey everyone, and this is Bharat. As I said, I would be sharing an insight of my part two trip towards Canada from Serbia. I'm just here to share some intel which would be really useful for you people while you're traveling from Serbia to Canada. Okay, so in this video, I'll be knowing what are the things we should be completed while your stay at Serbia. As well, I would also know what are the documents required for clearing your Canadian immigration, and also what is the outside of the process which is happening at the Canadian airport, the arrival section. Okay, let's start with. So these are the things which you should be undergoing at Serbia during your stay. Mandatory COVID-19 test at Serbia, which you would have booked at Torlak Institute, and you would obviously receive the result too on the same day. And the next thing after receiving your results would be the ArriveCAN registration. You're mandated to register online, and it asks you about the quarantine plan and your negative test result and where are you from, the countries of stay and stuffs. So it's really easy, and it just takes like 5 to 10 minutes. And the next one would be your hotel booking for quarantine. If you had not booked your hotel, and if you had a plan let me test negative at Serbia and then let me book my hotel, it's time for your booking, because at the airport, at the Serbian airport, they don't ask for your hotel booking. But when you transit at Germany or Turkey, they do ask for your hotel booking before boarding. And next comes an important instruction, like please print all these documents, because you might or might not have free Wi-Fi access. As well, at the Canadian immigration counter or the border services counter or the health agency counter, it is highly recommended to have a printout, because showing your documents in a phone or a laptop will put you in an awkward scenario, because you have a huge queue behind you, and they would be really in a fatigue status, like they would have handled n number of passengers. Coming to the list of documents required, as we all know, we need a valid passport, obviously. And the next comes an important thing, the visa requirement. If you're a student or a worker, then you obviously need a TRV stamp on your passport. And if you have the TRV stamp, then you would be asked few questions depending on the type of TRV which you own. Like if you're a student, I was asked where are you from, and where do you study, and what do you study, and what is your major and stuff. Something like this. And these questions you can expect at the transit airport, the boarding, before the boarding, the security check, during the security check, and also at the Canadian border services counter. And if you're a PR or a citizen, then obviously you won't face any questions of this kind. It'll be like a free pass for you. You won't be inquired much, apart from which countries you have visited in past 14 days. And the next one is the COVID-19 test result. And for this scenario, for Canadian immigration, it is mandatory that the test result should be within 72 hours before departure. Which means if you had given your sample on Monday morning, you cannot board a flight later than Thursday morning, which means there would be 72 hours past. Monday to Tuesday it's 24, Tuesday to Wednesday it is 48, and Wednesday to Thursday it's 72. And I would highly recommend have your arrival to in the 72-hour window. It's really easy. I had my testing on Monday morning, so I arrived at Canada by Wednesday evening. It was like Montreal time, though it fell under the 72-hour window. So both my departure as well as the arrival was within 72 hours. So it's really possible. So please do plan in a way where both departure and arrival uh, falls under 72-hour window, and be on a safer side. So that's it. And next things, it's a boarding pass. It's like a weird thing, but it's really important that you hold your boarding pass of your recent flight that's from Serbia to Canada. If you're taking Lufthansa, then it might be between having a transit at Germany, or if you're taking Turkish Airlines, it might have a transit at Istanbul. Or if it's like Qatar Airways, then it might have a transit at Doha. So whichever it is, you should have your last flight's boarding pass with you, and it is being asked at the boarding services, the border services counter, as well the health agencies counter. So next comes the hotel booking, and the hotel booking, it's really important. You should have a confirmed booking reference and a booking for a hotel quarantine at Canada once you arrive. So where is this asked? Is like at the transit. Um, it was asked at the boarding counter, as well as when you arrive at Canada at the border services counter. The negative result as well as the hotel booking was asked in my case. And at the health agency, they do verify all your documents, including your passport, your study permit, your hotel booking, your ArriveCAN application, and your boarding pass. So that's it. So these are the important documents which are required. Apart from this, um, I also missed another thing, like the proof of quarantine plan. You should have a valid proof of quarantine. Like in the if you're a new person arriving at Canada, you haven't been at Canada before, then it is very obvious that you should own a lease copy at least. If not, you should have a booking for next 14 days at BNB or booking.com or wherever you are about to stay, and you'll be like asked a few questions about your place of stay, and you should be answering that. For example, if in my scenario I said we are going to stay at an apartment, they asked me like whether it's only you guys who are going to stay together at the apartment, or there are going to be other friends at the apartment. And when we said it was just us two, and they also inquired like do you have an access which is not bothering anyone else, and you do have separated washroom and bathroom and stuffs. So all these questions are like really normal, and they'll be like asking you about the food supply, and you should have a valid answer, like you can of order foods online, or you can also claim like you have a friend who would deliver the food on your door. So these were the questions which we faced at the health agent counter. Apart from that, like when we see like if you're a new student and if you're arriving for the first time at Canada, then obviously you would be like facing another phase of immigration, where the study permit will be issued after receiving a few more inputs from your end, like your class schedule, your proof of admission, and proof of biometrics and stuff. It depends on immigration officers. Few immigration officers doesn't expect you to have a hard copy of all these things in your hand, but few other immigration officers, they do expect all these documents with you, a copy of documents I mean. So it is highly recommended that you have all your academic proofs and records, and if you are an ongoing student, you would have, if you had completed a semester being at your home country, then it is highly recommended that you have your running unofficial transcript. So all these documents will do for approving yourself as a continuing student. So in our scenario, like we are also a returning student, we had our study permit in our hand, so we didn't get through this particular phase of immigration at this point. We were just like verified at the border services, and we underwent in inquiry, or the document, or it could be called as a document verification at the health agency counter. So post to that, like you're free to go. You can go collect your luggage and stuffs, and you can proceed forward. So all these processes at an outset, I'll be like saying in the following minutes. And the most important thing is at this point, they are not accepting any kind of reports which is being provided at India. For example, in my scenario, I was tested like positive a few weeks back, and I just asked for an exempt from hotel quarantine, or even from um, the on-arrival COVID test and stuff. But um, they said like a big no. It was not my particular health agent said like you won't be exempted from anything, because you have a co-traveler who's also from India, and he doesn't have any record of recovery. So in our case, like we were subjected to hotel quarantine as well as mandatory on-arrival COVID test, and they have also provided a test kit for testing ourselves on day 8. And I don't know how it works, but they do have a clear instruction manual, and it has been provided in a box which has not been opened yet by me. So and proof of vaccination at the current scenario, they don't accept any proof of vaccinations, or you don't have any perks with the proof of vaccinations. But the latest announcement says like post to July 5th, all the vaccinated arrivals might have certain perks, which might include the international students, which is not yet clear from the Canadian government's end. So this is it, like from my end. And if we want to speak about the process, how it went is like we started our travel at Serbia, and we traveled through Turkish Airlines. So to be very frank, Turkish Airlines have a strict baggage allowance monitoring. So they'll be like monitoring your cabin luggage and stuffs very strictly, and it is recommended that you carry the exact thing which is being like mentioned in your ticket. And apart from that, like we carried our journey from there to Istanbul. And Istanbul, it's like really a big airport. You might get lost, and it is very important that you are so concentrated on your own job. So you just go, you have to get through a security check, and you have to walk about like 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometer for the security check from your terminal of arrival. And from there, after a security check, again you have to walk a big distance, like again a kilometer or two, for your next boarding gate. At your boarding gate, you'll definitely have a security check, which includes the document verification of Canada. If you claim you're a student, they ask for your student ID, study permit, and TRV at your passport. And they do ask few questions like where do you study, and masters, in case in my scenario I said it's masters. They ask about the major and stuff. So that is it. So they just give a clearance at the boarding pass. And once you get your boarding pass cleared, you have to wait for your plane. So in our scenario, it was like a rush hour, so we ran for the transit, because we just had like an hour and 30 minutes for transiting um, from the first phase of flight to the second phase of flight. So after your flight from Turkish Airlines, the flight went good, and once you arrive, like you'll be as a first phase, you'll be declaring yourself about your baggage, about your carry-on luggage, and about your travel in past, and how long you have been outside Canada and stuffs. So after the self declaration process, the mission provides you a receipt. Like if you have a co-traveler, if you and co-traveler are going to reside at the hotel quarantine together, then it's highly recommended you to have to declare together. I mean, you should have your photo and your ID, everything in a single receipt. So so that like whenever you go to your border services, you both can go together, or as a group you can go together. And as well, the same falls for the category of health agent also. So next to the self-declaration stage, you'll be arriving at the border services. So border services will be verifying your COVID-19 test, hotel booking, your visa, and your passport. And a few immigration officers might ask like the proof of study, like the unofficial transcript, or maybe the class schedule and stuff. But in our case, we were just like asked for the passport, visa, and study permit, COVID-19 test results, hotel booking. They just asked verbally whether we completed the ArriveCAN, and we said yes. So they said like you can carry forward for the health agent counter. So health agent counter, there you wait for a longer time, like maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. So once an health agent is free, then you'll be like approaching them. You'll be explaining your hotel booking and quarantine plan, and they'll be like inquiring you back. And they'll also verify all the documents which you have, the COVID-19 test result and the passport and the boarding pass and stuffs. So post to that, like once you're done, once if they feel once if they feel that like you have a valid and genuine quarantine plan, they advise you what do they expect from us in the next 14 days. And they also say what are the consequences if we don't follow. And post to that, like they'll be giving us in stamping on the self-declaration receipt. Only with that you'll be allowed to collect your baggage. So post to the health agent counter, you'll be collecting your baggage, and after collecting your baggage, your self-declaration receipt will be taken back by the customs officer at the arrival exit gate. So once you submit that, then you'll be arriving at an counter where you'll be subjected to on-arrival COVID test. So this on-arrival COVID test is conducted by a private health organization. I'll be sharing the link at the description for you people to book an appointment. It is highly recommended. You have to book your appointment priorly, and then you arrive at the Montreal airport, so that like you don't wait for registering yourself. So within that timeline, like you don't let your co-passengers in front of you in the queue. So we did that mistake. We didn't know like we have to undergo registration for COVID-19 at arrival. So we waited for almost like 2 hours, and then it was like a long queue, and we were almost at the last of the queue. And finally we were able to provide the sample for COVID-19 test. And again, where your details will be verified with only passport. And once they just like collect your nasal swabs, and then post to your sample collection, you'll be free to go, and you can come outside of the airport. While you're coming out, you'll be provided with a test kit, which you have to use it for your day 8 in the quarantine. And day 8 of the quarantine, and I think you would have all the instruction about your day 8 quarantine test clear cut in the box which has been provided at the exit. Post to that, once you exit the airport, whichever gate you exit, uh, it it is preferred like when you see to your left, you'll find your taxi line. The Bonjour taxi is like providing you services, and you can hire any one of the taxi at the taxi line, and you can let them know which hotel you're traveling to. So they'll be like coming with you to the particular quarantine hotel. And once they like unload your luggages from the taxi, you'll be given a receipt for which you have to make a payment to the taxi driver. And for that particular receipt, the hotel will be refunding you for that particular amount which is mentioned in the receipt. And it is obviously you have to submit the receipt to the hotel. So this is how the process works. And apart from that is like where you might face glitch and lags are like during the transit. Don't waste your time during your transit, assuming like you have more ample amount of time. You might face like unexpected document verifications at places like even at the boarding counters. And apart from this, I don't have anything else to say. That is it for now. So these documents and this document list, as well as the expectations of immigration officers, varies from person to person, but the guidelines remains the same. So I always recommend you people to go through IATA guidelines for your airport transfers and transiting airport, and just for like the documents required for flying. And please do visit canada.ca and check your quarantine plan if it's like eligible, and if the health agent should approve your plan or not. So apart from that, you can also find like whether you fall under the exempted category and stuffs in the canada.ca. So please do not take this process in an easy way. In our case, like I would say, like it wasn't that difficult, it was easy. But there are students who were being like questioned, or they also had a different answer for the questions or the queries which the health agent or the border services, the immigration officers had. So it went like on the other way. So they were asked to book another hotel, or they were asked to extend their booking at the hotel which they have already booked. So these conversations were all around actually. So I shared you my experience. So I hope you people would also clear the immigration in the same way, and wish you all luck and wish you a safe journey. And wherever you go, please do stay safe. And don't forget that we are still in pandemic situation. So do subscribe and share the videos for the needy ones. And see you all in the next video. Hopefully it's in travel blog. Okay. Cheers and thank you.